Hello, brothers and sisters of the Briar. Professor Jeremiah here, and
Steve Three Rivers, welcome.
And welcome to another Falcon Friday.
And,
I'm smoking my Marrakesh bowl, Falcon rusticated, and in it I have some Delta honeydew from the Country Squire.
Most excellent. Well, I'm on part of my Jack Hargreaves tribute pipe, the brown stem, but I've got a Dover rusticated bowl, so not too dissimilar from the Dublin, but you can see the sort of rounded shapes there. And
He
in it,
might have been smoking that in one of the more recent videos.
Yes, I that is why I went for it. I thought it was quite, there is, and I've just been reading one of his books, and there's evidence that there is like a Marrakesh but the fact that part of the world he lived in, I think he would have gone for the Dover. So yeah, there we go. And in it, a whole new tobacco to me. Never, to be honest, I must have looked past this hundreds of times. I didn't even know it existed. That was the first time I've lit it up. It's called Alsbowl Black. Can you see that? I don't know if have you ever come across it?
Never heard of that before. That's
right.
A new one.
Well, it smells like Christmas pudding, and I cannot give any other advice as to its aroma in the packet. Christmas pudding. If you know what Christmas pudding is, go and look it up. All the constituents are there. It's a Christmas pudding. Now, the tobaccos, I don't know, can you see that? For Cavendish and Virginia, and there is a vanilla essence in there. And I've just lit it up it was recommended to me by Richard Batchelor. So I did say I would get some, and I have, Richard, and I'm just smoking it now. First impressions, I like it. It seems on the dry side of neutral, as a tobacco, but it's ribbon cut, and there might be other people out there who tried it. If so, what did you think? So here we are, and we're promoting our live an invitation evening for evening, wherever you might be in the world, for October the 6th, Friday, October the 6th. So all you Falconites.
Yeah.
Go Falconites.
You still have time to buy Falcon.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Just to throw something into the equation, we've been very well supported with my smoking shop they've been very gracious. They've got a supply of the Jack Hargreaves tribute pipe, which is the Dublin rusticated and the brown stem at bronze. Have you got it on screen there, Professor? And if you wanted this particular pipe in combination, there it is, from not my smoking shop, but my smoking shop in England at Preston. So, and I was speaking to them this week when I ordered several bits of tobacco. I will tell you, I know Sylvia's gonna get upset now. Well, I got another packet of Revo plug. I've been chomping on that quite a lot lately. Some Bosun cut plug and some Condor. So yeah, all stocked up there, and I've been recently just Revo plug is what I've been smoking. So I was speaking to them, and they said, Steve, they said Jack Hargreaves tribute pipe. I said, oh yeah, have you had any interest? Oh, have we ever? There's one gone to the States, and there's 6 gone into UK, Europe, wherever, and quite a lot of accessories. So thank you everybody that supported there. And if you're I think it's a gentleman in America, could be California, say something on the chat room, or please come and join us next Friday. It is next Friday. I'm on the tablets again now. I either fall asleep or start rabbiting on in the wrong direction. So it is next Friday, isn't it?
Yeah. So next Friday, we'll go into the room at 11:30 Central Standard Time, or that will be 5:30 p.m. England time. So definitely would love to have y'all join us. Just bring your Falcon. Doesn't matter the shape of the Falcon or the shape
or the age. And we had wonderful fellowship. There's a few people that please. Oh, and how do they get to join us, Professor?
Yeah, down in the link below. As soon as this is over, I will put my email address, and you'll need to send me an email. Now, if you were in our email listing before, you don't have to send a request. I'll already have you in that list. So just shoot me an email, say you'd like to the group, and I will send you the link to the Zoom meeting. The purpose in that so that we keep it from getting trolls in there. And so, whoever sends me a link, I do need to kind of have an idea of who you are, at least know that you're a pipe smoker. So, but we'd love to have you as a part of the group.
Yeah, but please look back at the last live, Professor, because at least one gentleman was desperate to get in, and he was sending emails, and you said they may have gone in, or his may have gone in your junk.
He said that he hadn't gotten it, and I know I look back and I had sent him the email.
Oh, it could be his junk then.
His junk folder, or might have gone in his promotions folder. So if you send that to me and you don't see anything at the time of the meeting, check your promotions folder or junk mail folder. It likely has gone into that. And that could be because when I send them out, just so people know, I send it out as a blind carbon copy. So your email address isn't just being thrown out there to everybody else. And that way you'll get that invitation. So anyway, as I say, just check the promotions. Sometimes if the algorithm picks up that it's gone out to multiple people, it'll throw that over in those folders. So, we were talking about fishing earlier before going live. I imagine that, people.
Yeah. Oh, can I say, I only had a few puffs on this, and I'm quite enjoying it. And I'm someone who likes fairly strong tobacco, and this, I wouldn't call it strong, but it's certainly not light. But it's me. I think you would enjoy it, with the Cavendish.
Too, I mentioned last week, I showed this, but it's when I was driving. This is the Dublin Bantam Bowl. And just so you can see the difference in the size between the Marrakesh and that, or the difference in the size of the 50 millimeter, you can see there. But it's a good little smoke. I think I told you I got probably 20 or 30 minutes out of it while driving last week. And you don't have to have a separate stem for your bowls. You can just stick the bowl on the same stem, which is probably what most people do. I just got another stem. But
so in between Falcon Friday, what have you been smoking? A Falcon, or have you had another pipe on the go?
Yeah, I was smoking this one last evening. So, actually, I'll say the Falcons kind of made it into my regular daily rotation, which is really unusual. So that's a part of why now I guess I've got so many bowls and enjoy it. And I know I'm going to be smoking one later this evening with a friend who I just bought him a stem and a bowl. and I'm going to give him the option between the stain or the aluminum finish or this brown finish. So we'll see which one he chooses.
Well, apart from this, I've been smoking Peterson Clontarf. And this has been a remarkable pipe for me. I keep going back to it, never lets me down. Always a good smoke. By that, I mean, it's true to taste what I'm smoking. And this has become quite a favourite of mine. Blakemar Briar, Mike from Blakemar. This is one we had for the championships. Sorry, is that coming over all right? But again, so these three pipes, albeit the Falcon has had a couple of different bowls in. That's what I've been doing. Mm-hmm.
I was looking to see if we had any comments. Right now, I'm not seeing any. If you're leaving a comment, I'll try to catch that. Go ahead and do leave them, and I'll try to see if you're leaving comments. I know we got about 7 people in the room right now.
All right. Well, as you say, if you want to join us, it's not a cult. It's just trying to not so much revive, but just give a higher profile on the Falcon. And the last meeting we had, the invitation in the chat, the meeting room and the chat, although we couldn't see the chat at the time, was the amount of information that was being gathered and shared, and it was tremendous. It's proper, good fellowship in that respect. And I think we sort of set out for about 3/4 of an hour, didn't we? And it probably ended up an hour and a half.
I see we've got Ramblin' Jan in the room.
All right.
Dance Dad Piper, and he says Dance Dad Piper says it's a cult of personality.
Well, I can't disagree with that, Josh. Well, I'm not seeing anything. You're seeing the chats coming in. I can't, so I'll come out of that. You were right. I couldn't see it.
Yeah, I had to refresh it before it let me see it.
Well, that's cool. Well, Rambling Jan, hope you're going to join us next Friday. It'd be lovely to see you and have a chat. And Josh, well, Josh is always working, isn't he? He's never still.
Yeah, I'm sure working right now.
I know.
And I need to send a little message here real quick. I wonder, Jan, have you gotten a Falcon yet? You'll have to let us know. If not, there's still time for you to buy your Falcon.
Well, Jan went past his 1,000 subscribers, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if
he said his good lady was going to treat him to a new pipe once his channel got to 1,000. So, come on, Jan.
So I was going to tell you a fish story. I wasn't present for this, but I've heard it from a couple of witnesses who were. So some of you may have seen, I posted on Instagram a picture of my dad with Trooper while they were fishing. I'll see if I can pull that up on my phone for you. But anyway, while I was fishing it, the little slough at the lake, and it's a rather large lake. I mean, I think it's like 180 something mile shoreline around the lake. So, I mean, it's not a small lake by any means. But I say that to say that I'm trying to pull up the picture and talk at the same time. So there was a fishing tournament that was taking place one weekend while they were there. And anyway, this father and son pull into the slough, and they catch a trophy-sized bass. Now, my dad said of all of his life growing up there, and I mean, the lake cabin's been in my family since the mid 30s, but they pull out this trophy sized bass. And my dad said he had never seen a bass caught in the slough there before. Well, after the father and son leave, all of a sudden this pro fisherman pulls up with a camera crew, and he tosses his line a few times, never catches anything, and then in a little bit leaves. And my dad was pretty convinced that they must have like maybe doped up the bass earlier, brought it into the slough and dumped it there for this film crew to come in and film them catching this trophy sized bass. Because really, otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. You know, the film crew coming in and this guy fishing there for a bass where you never catch them. And the father and son catching one right before. But who knows? Just an idea. But
Your father's so cynical, but probably right. You get yeah. Well, a lot of my fellow instructors and river guides, you know, they had like journals they wrote for them. There was fishing programs, and although they were wonderful catches of fish in their own right, you can't actually script it. You know, you're gonna sometimes you see these no eels.
if that'll focus a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really focusing, but you get the idea. That is a little brim, which interesting enough, there you go. He was fishing for catfish and caught the brim, and Trooper was interested in every fish.
Yeah. Well, Professor, I think we put the word out there, ready for next Friday. And what time are we looking at?
So we'll be, as I say, we'll be looking at 11:30 Central Standard Time, and that'll be Friday afternoon, and then 5:30 p.m. British Standard Time. So Jan says no Falcon pipe yet. So maybe he'll get him a Falcon between now and next Friday and can join us.
Put the pressure on.
And Dad Stat says yes, he's working, and Dry Fly Fisher 11 says good afternoon.
Well, you're in touch with I know Jan's in the chat room there, but you're in touch with Jan on another, I don't know, I don't use social media, another platform, aren't you? So you could get a word to him over something. But yeah, it would be nice to see him in the chat room, and everyone else who would like to join us, and we just have a plod along for 3/4 of an hour talking about fundamentally Falcon pipe. So until next week then, Professor. All
right, sisters. Well, I hope you enjoy a smoke this afternoon, and if you don't have a Falcon, grab a Falcon. You might really be surprised. I tell you, and I think you were saying the same thing the other week. For me, it's a renewed thing as well. I only use the Falcon really when I was working in the yard or mowing grass. And, I've gotten to where I appreciate it a lot more. Now, I don't know if I can hold it like Jack does.
Well, I think I learned our last grand meeting the fact that I probably didn't smoke a Falcon when I was 17. It was probably another aluminium pipe, because having bought this of late, I've so enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what Silva suggested it might have been. I've forgotten the name now, but it's there.
Well, brother and sister, as I say, I hope hope you've had a good week. I know we're not giving you a whole lot of information today. We're just sitting back, chatting, and enjoying the day. And if you're wondering, I don't know if Steve's become a teetotaler with his drink there.
Oh. Well, certainly the British viewers will know Vimto. It was formed initially as a temperance drink, or by the temperance movement towards people drinking alcohol, start drinking this stuff. So, and it's still with us. In fact, one of its main distribution centres is about 7 miles in that direction from us. I mean, last week you were touring the countryside around Alabama, weren't you?
I was
in the mobile HQ. And
yeah, I really thought I was going to have a better signal, and so I'm a little surprised and kind of perturbed that it wasn't better than it was. But maybe we'll try that another day. I see you've got Uncle Jack in his horse cart back there.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd stick him on for a bit of company. Yeah, what's that one?
He's not talking back to you.
An English country diary. Well, there's a certain lack of hobos recently around that part of the world you were in last week. Now, Professor.
To explain to people, that's because I would run over some railroad tracks, and of course the camera and everything bumped, and Steve asked what it was, and I said I was running over the railroad tracks. He said he hoped I didn't get anybody, and I said, just a hobo.
Yeah, let's call them railway tracks, shall we, children? Yeah. They don't go ouch and scream a lot, do they?
No.
Not like these railway tracks. Yeah. So, Professor, short but sweet, and hopefully people they know this. Please email Professor, and he'll make sure you get your link. And there's a few people I did send a link to, and one gentleman who's got a pet gargoyle. I'd love to know what that gargoyle's called. I think I'd like to call it Gareth. But yeah, if you're watching, I will send you, if Professor sends me a link, I will pass it on to you. So there we go. And he's the gentleman in question. I won't mention his name at the moment, but he's an aficionado of the Falcon pipe, and also has a really good taste for tobacco. He's one of the good, describers, if you like. I just pick up a pipe and say I enjoy it or I don't. But he's a bit like Phil, Uncle Phil Sellers. In fact, there's another gentleman I'd love to see with us next Friday. He's been.
Does he have a Falcon, I wonder?
Oh, does he ever? He's got in fact, I spoke to him. He was one of the people I spoke to on the phone about the Falcon pipe and Uncle Jack, and he came down on the side of the rusticated Dublin and the brown stem. So yeah, he was one of the people we approached and asked their advice, what they thought. So that'd be nice. And it'd be good if Tree can join us again next week, and Sylvia and Pied Piper and Reed Bender Bud, and was it Copperbeard?
Yeah,
Copperbeard,
you're right.
Yeah, so I think that's what was in the chat or in the meeting room last time. But,
I was asked about the email, and I'll put it in the chat here. For those who are interested. And there it is in the chat. It can be sent to me. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, might be some Lady Falcon smokers out there. We don't know.
We will be.
But definitely, we enjoy you dropping in with us, and be sure and give us a thumbs up and shoot us a chat in there. And maybe you want to know about the Falcon. They do have bent Falcon stems too, so you're not obligated to be a straight.
Oh crikey, no. There is. In fact, I had a gentleman who commented on our program, and he said he'd done the same thing with the brown stem and the Dublin rusticated, independent of us. And he said, when he came across our videos, he said, wow, I really didn't think there was anyone else out there with the same mindset, you know. There you go. Now that looks balanced.
You can do that.
Yeah. Well, right. Well, can you just model that one for us now? No, seriously, because you've got the bend in the pipe, and then you've got the actual bowl. Whereabouts is it? Just in line as it comes back up? Yeah, you see, you get a good aroma from that as well, wouldn't you? It works well on that bent stem. Can you get this tobacco in the States?
There's just a little bit left. I was smoking some very.
Oh, Professor, you're coming over to me all Chinese, all ping
Oh.
pong. Yeah, but can you actually get that tobacco in the States?
I don't know. I'll have to check it out.
Well, all I can say to Richard, thanks for putting it on, onto this, or putting me onto this tobacco, Richard. I'm very, very much enjoying it, and it's not burning as quickly as I thought it might do. The only thing that's not on its side is I keep talking. There you go.
All right. I know we've almost signed off a couple of times here.
Oh, have we got anyone in the chat? Is there anyone in the chat room?
There's a few people, 6 people watching.
All right. I mean, we could always go on about your rod now and trying to find a good line for it and what weight it's going to be.
Well, let me see if it says on the rod. It might have some information on there.
Yeah, the Association of Fishing Tackle Manufacturers of America, and they devised this method that on the rod blank, near where you had that name, they would put a number or a series of numbers, like 4 to 6, or number 5 or number 7, and that relates to what that rod or that spring is required in weight of line to actually get it working for you. Sorry, I do apologize. My brain just keeps going with these tablets. I really do apologize. And if you could find that number, it will put you on the money. But because you're saying it's 8'6", I would probably try, if you've got someone else with a fly rod, if they've got sounds like it would hover around a weight 6 line. A weight 6 line is quite a universal line for fly fishing in general. When you get heavier line, you're going for more specific fish, where you're going right up for salmon, or coming down lower, which is a lower number, the lighter the line, for small fish. In fact, Sage did a 0 weight, would you believe? 0 weight. Back in the 90s, they had a 0, so it was a weight 0. I don't know if it's some kind of marketing ploy, bit of a, just to get people interested. But yeah, Sage did. And Sage, in my estimation, one of the finest rod makers, or were, because I've not bought a rod for a while now. But they certainly were one of the best in the world, Sage, and the price of them was sort of reflected that, yeah.
So maybe the wife's not watching, not mine, but yours.
All right.
She's lost, but how many fly rods do you think you have?
Do I think? Well, the thing is, when I was doing the corporate days, I had 10 to 15 rods anyway, just for that. And the ratio, and it may have changed now. If we had a corporate day and you had to have a ratio of 1 instructor to every 5 rods. So there's 15 people who'd have 3 instructors. So that covered that. You're asking me, and I'm having to think. Orvis rods have probably got about 3. I've got 1 Sage, Grays 1. Did I say Orvis? I've got Grays salmon rods 2, a Snowby salmon rod, and the Snowby trout rod. 2 Snowby trout rods. I don't know how many that is. And that would have been with the 10 or 15 rods. I've been giving them away. The ones I had for the for the coaching and that. If someone says to me, "I like to travel," they have a rod and reel. It's not good to me, and they were Orvis. Those 15 were Orvis. Yeah. Did I answer your question? I've probably got more. I've got cane rods as well. If I go coarse fishing as well, so I've got cane rods. I haven't got a fiberglass rod. No, that was just prior to me getting. Oh yes, I've got fiberglass rod, but for coarse fishing, not fly fishing.
Well, that's the one that I showed you. Of course, it said hollow glass.
Yeah, it'd be a fiberglass type, wasn't it? A derivative.
Maybe before they were using the fiberglass or something, but I would think it's probably from the late 40s because the reel is from the 50s. So anyway, well, brothers and sisters, Steve, we actually have somebody to meet with us, but separately. So we'll
before you go, the modern rod now is carbon fiber, or again derivatives of that. Sorry, I was lied to. I was going to say that, and you signed this up. We're doing our best not to go. Are we going? Are we going now?
We're going now. We got somebody waiting. Yes.
Okay. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and thanks for putting up with me. I'm not on form, so I do apologise. I'm really just about keeping it. So thank you for joining us. And see you next Friday.
Sing a song on the way out?
Absolutely not. I need a lot of tablets of another kind if I was going to do that. Yeah, but look, I'm looking forward to next Friday and looking forward to the fellowship. So if you can, please come and join us. And if you're thinking of getting that Falcon pipe, Edward Hobbs, get it.
All right. Well, I'll have my email address down at the bottom. I'll also have a link to my smoking shop down in the bucket below. And till next time, brothers and sisters, God bless.
Have a great weekend.